We had a huge 27-point comeback. Teams suffered their first losses, and we had some NCAA performances that were pretty impressive as well. So without further ado, shall we? We're going to kick off with some college football and build to high school, all right? So Lehigh football, they were hosting Princeton on Saturday. The Ivy League favorites shutting out the Mountain Hawk offense, but slowed repeatedly by the defense. Third quarter on 4th and 1, Tigers QB Cole Smith is wrangled to the ground by former Liberty Hurricane Trevor Harris for a loss of 9 yards. The sophomore D lineman getting the start after a couple injuries and accounting for one of the team's 3 sacks on the day, plus a pair of tackles. The 0-3 Mountain Hawks are back in action at Colgate. Colgate hasn't won a game since November of 2019 against Lafayette. Well, defense was apparently the theme with our 2 Lehigh Valley Patriot League schools because the Leopards didn't disappoint on the defensive end either, withstanding New Hampshire's RPO offense, forcing a pair of field goal tries. Now, the Wildcats came into this game ranked 23rd in FCS competition. Junior linebacker Marco Olivas made a game-high 13 tackles, and Billy Schaefer had 8, one resulting in a fumble recovery that ended up leading to a field goal. The offense was held to a total of 233 yards. There were some bright spots, including an incredible opening kickoff return from freshman Michael Hayes. In his first game at Fisher Stadium, he gave the fans exactly what they needed by returning the kickoff 93 yards to the house. That was the Leopards' first kick return for a touchdown since 2018. Lafayette is back in action this Saturday. All right, now time for some high school football. Beginning in the Colonial League with the matchup between the 0-3 Southern Lehigh Spartans and 2-1 Bangor Slaters. Running back Cale Gottschalk had himself a day in Bangor's 35-14 win over the Spartans on Friday night. Not only was Gottschalk crowned homecoming king, but he also went off for 4 TD scores. All 4 of those would come on the ground, with his longest being a 33-yard rush. Credit also goes to a young offensive line who's really impressed Coach Reducey so far in the young season. Bangor improves to 3-1. Now on to the EPC, Whitehall at EMMAUS. Zephyrs having a heck of a season, 3-0 coming to Friday's game against the Hornets, and right off the bat, we're showing off on the road. Second quarter, Nigel Linton breaks through the line and disses, dodge, weaves, and cuts all the way to the end zone. 73-yard rushing touchdown for the junior. The Zephyrs held just a 7-6 lead into halftime. In the second half of that game, though, it was all EMMAUS, and what better way to cap off a win than with a long stroll into the end zone. T-League Jarvis puts the exclamation point on the Green Hornets' second half surge, racing 68 yards to the house. He rushed for 88 of his game-high 125 yards after halftime and secured the 26-7 win, handing Whitehall their first loss and improving to 3-1. As for that Freedom Parkland game, well, other than Parkland having an incredible season so far with a couple come-from-behind wins, they also got a pretty incredible kicker in Griffin Mistifer. The junior was cut from the soccer team and decided, I'll join the football team instead, and boy, are they glad he did. He hit a pair of field goals, one from 41 yards and another from 40 yards in the Trojans' 19-15 win over Freedom. Finally, I really don't know how I'm going to pick just one of the top plays from this one, so you're getting a couple. First, Bethlehem Catholic dominates the first half, and check this out from Jamal Clemens. He recovers a fumble from the backwards pass and takes off for 52 yards and a 15-0 lead over Nazareth. The Golden Hawks led 27-14 at the half, and the Blue Eagles would scratch and claw their way back from a 27-point deficit in the third quarter. It started out from the hands of QB Sonny Sasso, who passed for 128 yards and 2 touchdowns in the second half. They sealed the deal 42-41. The final, Blue Eagles now 3-1 with Freedom up next.